All right, guys, now we are going through kind of our Ed Puzzle exploration activity. So for those of you guys that just watched, hopefully you have already watched my YouTube kind of how-to on linear inequalities. Once again, this is linear inequalities of one variable, not to be confused with the two variable linear inequalities that are on a graph, like a line, okay, where you shade above or below or whatever. These are number line linear inequalities, so one variable, similar to solving one variable multiple step equations, okay? So without further ado, 3x minus 7 is less than 11. All right, go ahead at this time and solve that linear inequality. All right, you should be back with me now. Once again, for those of you guys that are just watching this off my YouTube channel, right, this video actually gets taken and uploaded to Ed Puzzle, so we kind of cut it and splice it and then add in kind of slides where the students are able to answer questions and select what answer they think is correct. And now I'm going to go over and explain how to do this question, okay? So first step, add 7 to each side. We get 3x is less than 18. Right? Next step, we divide by 3. In this specific step, you do not have to flip the inequality symbol because we just divided by a positive value. So x becomes less than 6. So x could actually be any number that's less than 6. So think of a couple numbers right now that would work. 5 would work. 5 is less than 6. 3 would work. 2 would work, 1 works. All of those numbers work that are less than 6. If I chose 6, that would not work. And if I chose anything above 6, that would not work. All right? Next example. All right, negative 5. Minus 4x is greater than or equal to 17. All right, go ahead and solve this now. All right, you're back. Great. So let's go through how we would solve this. Add 5 to each side. We get negative 4x is greater than or equal to 22. Why did I add 5 instead of subtracting it? Well, we already had a negative 5. So the inverse operation to this side would be to add 5 then. Okay? Here, we're going to divide by this coefficient of negative 4, and as we divide by a negative 4, this symbol is going to flip. Okay, so this is when our inequality symbols flip when we divide by a negative to each side. All right, the negative, we're not going to actually leave our negative in the denominator. We're going to actually bring it up to the numerator, right? There's an odd number of negatives on the right-hand side. 1 specifically, just this negative. We don't leave it in the denominator normally, we just bring it up to the numerator. And we're going to reduce 22 over 4 becomes 11 halves. Okay? Because they both have a common factor of 2. All right? So there we go. X is less than or equal to negative 11 halves. All right? And if you're tuning in, all we're doing right now is solving algebraically. So not on a number line technically. Okay? All right, let's try another one. All right, go ahead and solve this. This will be our last one for this Ed Puzzle solution set that I'm going to go through the answers on. All right, you should be back with me now. You should have solved this. First step is going to be to distribute this. I'm actually going to go a little bit quicker through this portion of it. If you want explanations on this, go back to my previous YouTube videos where I talk about solving multiple step one variable equations. I actually had something very similar to this broken down, and I wrote it out, made it very slow, and I showed every step. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do this real quick, okay? 2/3 times 3x is just 2x. 2/3 times -6 is giving me -4. Okay, just real quick. We're adding 5x still on that side of the inequality statement, and that's less than 11x. So combine our like terms, 2x and 5x makes 7x. We have a -4 on this side as well. And if you're watching this on the Edpuzzle scenario, in our Edpuzzle class, you probably can't press pause on this video, and you can't rewatch stuff, so I would highlight going to the YouTube channel to see this, so you can kind of go back and forth and slow it down if you want to see my steps a little bit. But combining 2x and 5x makes 7x. The 4 has a negative value to it, or a negative charge to it, so to say. Right? So that's why we have that -4 right there. Okay? Now, I love this problem. I created it for a reason, because I want you guys to see what happens when, oh no, you move the 11x over. I'm not saying this is the best way to do it. I'm not saying you have to do it this way. I know some people will, so I wanted to highlight that and show it to you. When you move the 11x over by subtraction, keep in mind, the symbol does not flip. Now we have -4x minus 4. Everyone always, well, what do I put there? Is it done? Is the problem done? And then they just messes everything up, right? Boom. What do you get when you have something and you take all of it away? You have 0, okay? If you had 11 apples and you take away 11 apples, you left with 0 apples, okay, or 0. All right, so just wanted to highlight what happens there. I don't have a ton more space because I don't have my cable hooked up yet. That'll happen next week, hopefully. So I'll move this up to the top. -4x minus 4 is less than 0. That's where I was at. Move this 4 over by addition. -4x is less than 4. Can anyone guess what's going to happen next? X is something -1, right? 4 divided by 4 is 1. Bring the negative up top, -1. What symbol goes there? Hopefully you guys all thought that that was wrong. Boom, that's wrong. How many of you guys at home did what I did? No? Yes? Hopefully you didn't. Hopefully you saw, wait, what is Coach Spots doing? That's wrong. Boom, the symbol needs to flip. Why does this symbol flip? Because we divided by a negative. Keep that in mind. Hopefully you caught that as you were solving the problem at home. And yeah, that's today's lesson. I'm actually going to insert a couple more slides on Edpuzzle for you to solve right now. All right, guys, take care.